As I'm writing the final words in my grandpa's biography, I hope I served him right and gave him some of the credit he's due. This great man has touched my life so deeply that all the words of gratitude in the world are not enough for me to thank him for all the things he taught me and all the love and care he gave me. This great man has achieved in a single lifetime what 10 men put together wouldn't even achieve. He served his country through sports as he devoted his life to sports. To me, Tony is the ideal leader, the ideal athlete, and the ideal grandfather. He's one of God's gifts to me and to the world of sports. After finishing his secondary education, التوني won Egypt's championship in gymnastics in the year 1927, and he kept on winning the same championship for several years on. He also excelled in track and field, as he won the high jump, the pole vault, and hurdles in the year 1929. In 1934, he established the Egyptian Union for Gymnastics, for which he was appointed secretary, then head of the union, and finally an honorary lasting chairman. In 1935, he acquired the 5th position in diving in Budapest University's championship. He won the British University's championship in 1937-38 as well. He also received the Order of Merit from Manchester University. I know you were born in the city of Malawi in Upper Egypt on the 10th of August, 1907. Could you tell me what made you get into sports and love it so much to the point where you devoted almost all your life to this field?
My father was a sportsman. He was the captain of football in his school, and he was a fencer. And our house was taken as the club of the city. Everybody comes to it, so I got to be very fond of sports.
So he encouraged you to get into one sport, one type of sport more than the other?
At that time, no. But later on, when I was in secondary school in Egypt, in Cairo, I was rather fond for same sports. I was fond of athletics, swimming, and gymnastics.
As far as I know, is it especially gymnastics? Were you like better in gymnastics more than swimming?
No, the 3 of them. I was champion of Egypt in the 3 of them.
Is it true you were kicked out of school several times because you participated in political demonstrations?
Yes. When I was in Cairo, in the secondary schools, we revolted against the intervention of the British policy in the economy of Egypt. So we were ruled a lot of demonstrations. I was dismissed from most of the schools, from secondary schools.
What was the idea behind you putting together your Olympic Museum? What made you put it together?
As a matter of fact, I was stamp collector, kinesthetic, and when I got in touch with the International Olympic Committee in 1960, I had the chance to collect so many things which I put them in this museum. This is the reason why I made my museum.
On visiting Tunis Olympic Museum, Mr. Juan Antonio Samaranch, chairman of the International Olympic Committee, was most impressed. He said that in all his travels around the world, he had never seen such a superb display of medals and belonging. He went as far as saying that such a display rivals the pyramids as a top tourist attraction. In the 30s, el-Tuni was an editor in a sports magazine. He also wrote a book about sports and their types at the time of ancient Egyptians. He acquired his information from a collection of papyrus and engravings on tombs. In this book, which was translated into English, French, German, and Japanese, el-Tuni proved Greece's participation in the Olympic Games before Christ. In 1960, el-Tuni was selected head of the Egyptian delegation for Rome's Olympiad. He was selected as member in the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, then nominated member in the International Olympic Committee. Hence, he entered a new foreign stage in his sports activity, and his frequent travels abroad made him the flying man as identified by his close relations. When I asked my grandpa what made him come up with such a great museum, he said that when he found out that neither one of his predecessors ever collected any kind of Olympic documents or medals or booklets, he realized it was his duty to collect as many Olympic paraphernalia as he could from all over the world, and particularly from Alexandria, as he was a member of the Arab Olympic Committee in the year 1946. By the year 1960, he had quite a collection, and he was a member of the International Olympic Committee, and this was the first building block in this great museum. This museum contains several valuable sports documents which date way back to the first Olympic Games ever played in recent history, which was held in Athens, Greece in the year 1896 and up until this day. This museum is truly a shrine for sports nationally and internationally. Springing from Egypt's desire to convene a Mediterranean country's Olympic tournament, the idea was reviewed and agreed upon by the countries concerned. The tournament was scheduled to be held in Alexandria in 1951. التوني was chosen for heading this successful tournament, at the end of which he was granted the Golden Medal of Merit. التوني also contributed in founding the International Committee for Mediterranean Countries. He was granted by France the Silver Medal for Sports.
استعمار الجنوب واستنتجت أموال أصبحت ثرية غنية يمكنها أن تفعل المستحيل في التعليم والتعليم. لذلك أمكن أن يستفاد من الشباب في سن الارتقاء.
المهندس أحمد الدمرداش توني له أفكار كثيرة في النهوض بالرياضة في مصر وفي الدول العربية، وله نشاط كبير في الحركة الأولمبية في العالم. فمن ضمن أفكاره التي نفذها في مصر إقامة دورات البحر الأبيض المتوسط عام 1951، والتي نظمتها مدينة الإسكندرية. وكانت هذه الدورة بمثابة تعريف للعالم العربي وللشباب المصري باسم الدورات، وانتشرت هذه التسمية في الجامعات وفي المدارس وفي الأندية وفي مصر كلها.
The location of the Cairo Stadium is considered an ideal location for building such a sports complex. Did you have an input in choosing this location, and why?
Yes, I have. The history of this stadium belongs back to 1934. For His Excellency Tahir Pasha, he wanted to build a stadium in Cairo, and he got about 80 acres in Madinat al-Awqaf to build the Stade Muhammad Ali Stade. And we were still studying and putting the projects, but the revolution started in 1952, and we put a committee for the stadium. 5 persons, I was one of them. So I refused myself to the Madinat al-Awqaf.
You refused.
And the committee accepted my idea and asked me to choose the place.
In a great ceremony attended by the late President Nasser, which took place on the 24th of July 1960, the inauguration of the first step in building of the Cairo Stadium took place, for which Tony was nominated as chairman. He resigned from the corporation department so as to fully devote himself to his new job. قول يا فريد، ايه هي اهم الصفات اللي اتعلمتها من جده توني؟
اتعلمت منه الصبر الرأي الحر، الإصرار على تحقيق ذاتي، وأهم حاجة اتعلمتها منه في مجال الرياضة اللي هو حبي للرياضة، أو اللي هي الرياضة للرياضة.
يعني ايه الرياضة للرياضة؟
أقصد الرياضة للرياضة يعني ألعب الرياضة عشان حبي للرياضة، مش ما أخدش الرياضة وسيلة لكسب المال.
يعني قصدك ان كان عندك فرصة انك تحترف وما احترفتش او رفضت الاحتراف؟
بالظبط، كان في فرصة ان انا احترف، لان انا قعدت 6 سنين اول جمهورية. يعني انا كنت بستلم هنا دي هنا صوري وانا بستلم ميدالياتي اول جمهورية 6 سنين، وخدت ثالث سنة 81 في بطولة الدرمشتات الدولية، تعتبر بمثابة بطولة العالم للناشئين. وخدت التاسع في بطولة جنوة الدولية. واتعرض عليا الاحتراف، ولكن كان من ضمن الحاجات اللي كان جدي التوني كان بيحاول يعلمها لي ان انا ما اخدش الرياضه وسيله لكسب المال، لان كان بيقول ان الرياضه لو الاحتراف دخل الرياضه هنا هتتحول الرياضه من اسلوب لبناء البني ادم وبناء جسمه لاسلوب لتدميره.
انت بتعتبر جده قدوه ليك؟
طبعا انا بعتبره قدوه ليا، لان هو حقق حاجات كتير جدا، نفسي وطموحي ان انا احقق جزء منها.
مدام حياة، بما ان حضرتك كنت قائدة العروض الريفية، فبيتهيألي ان حضرتك احسن واحدة ممكن اعرف منها ايه الدور اللي قام بيه بالظبط توني في انشاء الاندية الريفية.
ايوه، هو في الخمسينيات الاستاذ توني كان رئيس قسم الاجتماعيات بالتعاونيات، ففكر في انشاء نادي ريفي لكل قرية على الوجه البحري والوجه القبلي. ليه؟ النادي ده هدفه ايه؟ او كان هدف الاستاذ توني من انشاء النادي ايه؟ انه يجتمع فيه شباب ورجال القرية، اجتمعوا فيه من ناحية رياضية، من ناحية الاجتماعية، يبقى مكان يجمع الاثنين في لقاء واحد. من هنا بقى عرفت الاستاذ توني سنة 57. بعدها بقى فكر ان هو يوضع كلمات معينة تغني بيها اولاد القرية بس عن طريق العروض. بقى يحط الكلمات الهادفة وتتنفذ عن طريق عروض في الريف
هو اللي كان بيكتب الكلمات بنفسه؟
لا، اللي كان بيكتب الكلمات المرحوم محمود مقلد والمرحوم عبد الله شمس الدين.
هو صح،
هو يقول لهم الفكرة، يقول لهم انا عايز كلام يغنوه الولاد لمصر.
ايه الحاجات اللي حضرتك اكتسبتيها منه او اتعلمتيها منه؟
ده انا اكتسبت حاجات كتير قوي 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 منه.
زي
عشان اشتغلت معاه وانا صغيرة كنت خايفة، كان عندي رغبة من العمل كبيرة قوي قوي. هو كان يعني يزيل الخوف ده مني، يقول لي شوفي اعملي اي حاجة ما دمت انت هدفك توصلي ليه. وبعدين هو شخصية لا تعوض، مش هتتعوض لا في الزمن اللي فات ولا في الزمن اللي احنا فيه.
In 1934, he established the Egyptian Union for Gymnastics, for which he was appointed secretary, then head of the union, and finally an honorary lasting chairman. In 1935, he acquired the 5th position in diving in Budapest University's championship. He won the British University's championship in 1937-38 as well. He also received the Order of Merit from Manchester University.
ابتدينا في مدرسة سباحة تحت 6 سنين في نادي اليوبس في مصر الجديدة. بنروح ناخد معانا سندوتشات طول اليوم، يمكن من 8 الصبح ل 6 بالليل، من 6 مساء في النادي. ثم أول ما ابتديت ألعب دايفنج اللي هي غطس. حصلت على بطولة القاهرة تحت 12 سنة، وبعدين لعبت سباحة برضو بطولة القاهرة والجمهورية اللي تحت 16 سنة، وبعدين حولنا لكرة الماء لأن النادي بتاعنا معروف بكرة الماء. ففضلنا الحمد لله يمكن 15 سنة متصلة أبطال مصر في كرة الماء، وكنت لاعب الحمد لله سكورر أو هداف في النادي اليوبلس في مصر الجديدة. ثم طبعا في الوقت ده التحقت بمنتخب مصر في كرة الماء، ومثلت مصر حوالي 20 مباراة دولية، وكان لي الشرف تمثيل مصر في الدورة الأولمبية بالمكسيك سنة 68. وطبعا الواحد اتعلم من والده الحمد لله حاجات كتير قوي، لأنه هو أولا عمره ما كان يقصدنا على حاجة، لكن اتعلمت منه الالتزام في المواعيد التدريب والشجاعة، الشجاعة في الرأي، ولا بد أن الواحد يكون شجاع وما يهبش حاجة في الحق أبدا.
احب اعرف يا طنط ايه اهم قيمه جده حاول يزرعها فيكي؟
جده الحقيقه بابا يعني حب يزرع فينا دايما الصبر والعطاء وحب الناس والخير، وكان دايما بيبعدنا عن الاحتراف. طبعا ما احنا ما بنمارسش رياضه، انما في كقيم البعد عن الاحتراف. فيعني اذا ما نبصش للماده كل شيء.
انا عارفه ان فاضل وفريد ولاد حضرتك الاثنين دخلوا بطولات. فريد دخل بطولات عالميه، فاضل بطولات على مستوى الجمهوريه.
فريد 11 مره جنيف، وراح درمشتاد وتورونتو وفاضل كمان لاعب بس مش حاجات عالميه.
هل جده لعب دور في كونهم؟
طبعا طبعا طبعا. هو زي ما زق اخواتي اللي هم اولاده يعني، احنا برضو كان هو برضو وقتها بيشجع ولادي، وانا برضو كنت بشجعهم، واحنا عشان نشأنا في بيت الرياضه مهمه قوي، فطبعا كنت عارفه ان ده لازم يعني. بره التقدير مهما الواحد يقول، طبعا هنا دلوقتي ابتدينا نحس بالتقدير فعلا ومؤخرا بالذات، انما بره تقدير بشكل تاني. اولا بيعاملوا اعضاء اللجنه الاولمبيه الدوليه قبل رؤساء الحكومات. ده انا شفت اللي شفته في تايبي والصين، مش ممكن الاستقبالات وطريقه الحفاوه، مش ممكن يعني.
ايه اهم صفه بيتميز بيها جده في نظرك؟ لو توصفيه في كلمه واحده تقولي عنه ايه؟
العطاء بدون مقابل. يعني عمره ما بص المركز وهو بيدي.
In fact, the man was very brave. He taught us not to fear anyone but God. Also, he learned us, he taught us a lot, like even being so ideal, or even trying to maintain that, being that ideal man. I remember when I went with him to Yugoslavia in 1979, and there we always get the best rooms in the hotels and best food and everything. I saw that he was bringing with him like biscuits and even some kind of cheese from Egypt, so that we don't eat every time in the restaurant of the hotel, except that it's all paid.
When you traveled with him, did he get any kind of special treatment?
Yes, in fact, he almost were presidentially treated, or we can say very highly VIP treated. We always got motorcades in front of the car. His opinions and views were highly greeted by others, especially members of the International Olympic Committee from Latin America, Africa, and Asia.
Is he as famous abroad as he is here? Or is he...
Maybe I think more. I think he's much more famous, yes.
More valued?
Yes, yes, and I touched that in how we were hospitalized in the airports and in the hotels and so on.
Tell me, Sharif, what do you like about Giddu Tuni?
He's so nice. I love him so much. He's my favorite grandpa. I love him. He's my great-great-grandpa. And he tells me story every day. And I love him.
You love him so much?
So much.
And he loves you so much, too. Do you know that you're his first granddaughter? Great-granddaughter.
Great-granddaughter?
Yes, you're the first great-granddaughter he ever had. What are your hopes and wishes for the sports in Egypt and the Egyptian youth?
I hope sports will go back to the schools in order to have a masses doing sports. And to change the International Supreme Council of Sports and Youth to a Ministry of Sports outside the schools. But the responsibility of the schools will be with the Minister of Education.
writing the final words in my grandpa's biography, I hope I served him right and gave him some of the credit he's due. This great man has touched my life so deeply that all the words of gratitude in the world are not enough for me to thank him for all the things he taught me and all the love and care he gave me. To me, Tony is the ideal leader, the ideal athlete, and the ideal grandfather. He's one of God's gifts to me and to the world of sport.